Kizamde, hop on the beat!
Welcome back to another JoJo chapter review. This time we're taking a look at chapter 37 of the JoJoLands titled Usagi, Fraud and Suspicion Part 5. Last time, the gang continued fighting the new enemy Stand, which drags out painful memories from their past, with Jodio coming up with a plan to finally escape from it. This time we pick up with Jodio's plan to remove the sticker. He has the Mate Kudasai turn into some batteries, which he plans to bait a lion to bite into and burn the sticker away. Jodio says that the sticker is allowing the Stand to read their minds, but once one sticker is off, someone without a sticker could peel the rest off. One of the lions attacks, and Jodio and Paco use their stands to subdue it. Jodio puts his foot in the lion's mouth, and the Stand spirits appear to taunt him for his mental issues. This causes Jodio to turn around, with an attack on his hand forcing him to drop the batteries. Paco is able to punch the lion away, and we see that only Jodio's shoe was pulled off, and the sticker has transferred to the bottom of his foot. Jodio prepares to let the lion bite more of his flesh off to remove the Stand. Suddenly, we see Usagi's mother Allison, who they've been searching for, behind them, frantically checking the zoo map and calling out the name of her daughter Tori. Usagi confronts her, and we see that she is also under the Stand's power. A vision of Usagi's father appears, who had died after being hit by a bus. He questions her relationship with Max, who we saw killed earlier this arc, and we learn that she lost track of Tori at the zoo and that she may have been taken by someone. After she looks back, she winds up flung into the enclosure and is surrounded by lions. The Stand appears to Jodio again, telling him that their point-blank stickers are the boundary between the world and the afterlife, and that they will continue to read his mind until they find the answer to Rohan's code and the location of the lava rock. Usagi jumps in to protect his mother, sticking his foot in the lion's mouth. They toss him the batteries, but he fails to catch them, and the lion bites his foot off completely. With the sticker remaining on the severed foot, Usagi is able to peel off the remaining stickers, which the others use their stands to damage. Dragona notices ambulances nearby, picking up the injured zoo patrons. Despite Jodio's warning, she investigates to find the Stand user. The user finally makes his appearance, with some visible injuries from the attack on the stickers. He takes Dragona hostage with a knife, but she quickly turns the tables on him by smoothing his face over with her stand, and begins questioning him on what he's doing. This was another great chapter. It looks like we've finally reached the end of the fight, with Dragona incapacitating the user. We actually learned through some dialogue here that the name of the new Stand is Point Blank, named after a Bruce Springsteen song. I am interested to know how they're going to go about interrogating the user, and what exactly the limitations of the ability triggering again are. We learned that the sticker can spread when someone touches the blood of another victim, so it got to the protagonists after Usagi stepped in Max's blood and spread further from the alligator victims. But I do wonder how it got to Max in the first place, and it could be that the user's blood is the catalyst for it. In that case, they do have to be careful since the user is injured, but him being subdued may be able to prevent him from placing a new one. This chapter ended up making a big deal out of Dragona's ability, with the cover page and some dialogue later saying that she can only smooth out wounds that are shallower than 7mm. Since this seems to be some kind of limitation on Dragona's healing abilities, I wonder if that means Usagi is in serious danger after losing a whole foot. I honestly don't think that's too big of a concern though, since JoJo characters have frankly lived through a lot worse than that, and there is a medical team right there treating the other injured people. The other big focus this chapter is some further developments with Usagi's story. Allison is finally turned up, but Tori is nowhere to be found. She was also affected by point-blank stickers, and their placement on her hands makes me think she must have also gotten it from Max's corpse. The Stand must have then lured her to the zoo for them to kidnap Tori. Later, she is affected by a vision of her husband, which causes her to fall into the lion enclosure. This moment actually brings up an interesting point by implying that her relationship with Max may have started before Usagi's father died, implying that perhaps Max is Usagi's real father, and the two do have a similar appearance. I think this chapter also answers one of my main questions when it comes to this Stand ability, which is why it couldn't just make the protagonist commit suicide right away when it seems to affect the bystanders so easily. The Stand spirits themselves answer this by showing that they are slowly in the process of reading their minds to find Rohan's code, so the user actually has to keep them under the ability's effects without outright killing them until they learn what they want. This definitely isn't the only enemy at work here, since Tori is still presumably being held somewhere, so I think this arc still has some time to go. That's about everything there is to cover with this chapter. In other JoJo news, it has been announced that we'll be getting a Steel Ball Run panel at Anime Expo 2026 in Los Angeles, featuring the anime's composer Yugo Kanno and the English voice actors for Johnny and Gyro. We've also learned that on the same day, July 3rd, we'll be learning some new information on Steel Ball Run's second stage. Along with this, we got a new key visual showing off our main characters. But strangely enough, Diego is also given some focus here. What's sort of puzzling about that is that Diego doesn't really become relevant until the Scary Monsters arc, which takes place in the third stage. And we can also spot Hot Pants among the racers in the background, who didn't make her first appearance until the fourth stage began. So this makes me wonder how much they'll actually be adapting here, and that maybe we'll be getting to see the Scary Monsters arc quicker than expected. On the other hand, it could just be that Diego's role in the second stage will be expanded somewhat, and perhaps we could be seeing Hot Pants early as well. That would actually address one of my complaints with the first episode, since I thought it was strange that they didn't take the opportunity to have some of the later racers make cameo appearances in the background, especially for a character like Hot Pants, who we know was performing well in the race before she actually made an appearance. We have also gotten some indirect confirmation that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven may be getting a re-release. Recently, the Brazilian government's age rating system included a listing for a game with the title Eyes of Heaven R, similar to the All-Star Battle R re-release we got back in 2022. Hopefully this is true, since I'd love to see the game come to PC. I've actually never gotten around to playing through Eyes of Heaven, since I know I would want to make a video on it. With it on PC, I'd be a lot more likely to play it just out of convenience sake, and because I could record the game more easily. Viz Media has also announced that the light novel Over Heaven will be getting an official English translation. We recently got the long-awaited localization of Purple Haze feedback, so I am glad to see that they're willing to cover some of the other books. If you want to keep up with my new videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. You can also join the Hum and Beat Discord to be notified about new uploads or chapter releases. And finally, I'd appreciate if you help support the channel on Patreon or by becoming a YouTube member. All supporters get featured in the credits and can submit viewer questions that I cover in my main videos. Thank you for watching. This is the part of the video when I thank my $5 and up patrons and members. Thank you to Doorbell, Crayon, Rigo Vids, Pumpkin Doge, Sponge Cake, Cakext, Feliciano Rabaja, Christian McDonough, Pulse Dog, Rob Goliath, Big T, Gold, Red Hot Mayonnaise, Zenkai, Keenan, Saint Bobo, John Garcia, Crank and Plank, Fran Studios, Shin Megami Tensei Film Reviews, Griffiono, Fiddlehead, Justice, Joao Marchins, Danilo K, Kali, Javier's Milk, Billy the Corgi, Time Lord, Moist Daddy Tom, Daisuke, Artist 9398, Monkey 15, Conti Goat, and Holy Peanut.